Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, thank you for coming out tonight and spending time with me or with us. Of course, the us is all of us. Tonight, I want to make sure everybody understands that I have Broadcastify on. If it breaks in with police calls or if I all of a sudden go silent because of what's going on here in Hawkins County, Tennessee, we have sad news to report that we have a endangered child alert currently out of Rogersville, and it's for Dalton Drinan, age 4, 40 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes, last seen Sandy Valley Road, Rogersville, Tennessee. Possibly with his yellow Labrador, wearing a How to Train Your Dragons gray t-shirt, khaki shorts, and shoes. If you are in Hawkins County and see a child matching this description, please call 911 and report this immediately. It's imperative. We don't need another story of a child getting lost in the woods. Story of a child walking away. And the reason I'm telling you it's in the woods, if you bear with me a second here, I will say hello to everybody in just a moment. We're putting this information up front as I believe this is crucial to put out here tonight. This road in the middle of the screen, going to the north, and then over to the east in just a moment. This is Sandy Valley Road. It's a heavily wooded area. Not mountainous like Summer Wells. This is a flatter area. There are hills. And there is that creek that I just showed. And we do not know the address of where this child is missing from. But this is potentially the area anywhere along here that this child could be missing from. That's Hawkins County Police and EMS there, folks. That's Broadcastify. I'm going to be leaving the subscription of him up for a little bit here, for a while, probably the whole entire night. But I apologize. I just realized I was not sharing Google Maps here. As I was saying, this is Sandy Valley Road in Rogersville. I apologize. I've really got to double check that from now on. Goes off to the east here. There's Renfro Creek. I do not know the name of these bodies of water that you see. They're little ponds, little lakes. Possibly man-made lakes. But this is how big Sandy Valley Road actually is. If we need, we will come back to that in just a bit, just to give everybody an idea of where they're searching tonight for this missing child. Who said what? Thank you very much, Carrie Lawson. As always, thank you. I really do appreciate your help every single time. That goes for all my mods. Cosplay will be along a little bit if she has not already arrived. Paw Patrol, thank you very much. Kathy Niffen, thank you for coming out. Annabelle Roma, thank you very much. And Teresa Nelson, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He actually went missing. It's less than 2 hours, probably like an hour and a half old at this point. WJHL story was posted. Let's see. Oh, there seems to be an update here. Hold on. Posted at 6:55 p.m. There seems to be an update. What's going on? Hang on. Directly from the WJHL website. This was not posted on earlier. There are several agency active and searching for the child, according to Hawkins County Rescue Squad. The rescue squad said it does not currently need assistance from citizens. It is encouraged nearby residents to search their properties. Search crews are in need of supplies, including bottled water, Gatorade, and snacks. It was hot today, folks, here in Tri-Cities area. It actually got hotter than I believe they expected. So they do need a bottled water, Gatorade type, and snack supplies to keep the energy up as they're searching. As it is now nightfall here, it is dark outside. And they are saying that donations will be accepted at its station at 955 East McKinney Avenue in Rogersville, beginning at 9 p.m. Anyone who sees Drennan is asked to call 911. That is from WJHL's website. No shoes. I apologize, Chapstick. Thank you very much. I did say he had shoes on. No shoes. Teresa, I actually believe, and I'm not trying to confirm this or anything. I have no way of confirming it, but from where I live, there have been a lot of sirens going down that direction. I believe that Kingsport is probably involved in searching, or Sullivan County is involved in searching, and if they've gone down that way. I can't see the main road they would have traveled that goes near where I live, but they have. There's been a lot of sirens, and I thought I heard possibly a chopper as well. Paw Patrol, this is about 40 minutes away from where the young man lived, where Summer lived. It's far enough to say no, but relatively close. Reportedly, Teresa, he is with this dog. My gut instincts is going to be on this one as of right now. The dog wandered off and he went chasing the dog. That would be the most likely scenario in this. Or if the dog had enough sense that the child wandered off and the dog was like, I've got to go with him to make sure he's okay. Folks, understand I'm still saying hello to everybody. So hello, God's Girl 1971. LC, thank you very much. Flip Flop, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Lip Lock No More, how are you doing? Nemesis, thank you very much for coming out. No, you're fine. We're still getting started. You're good. Good evening, Diane Solomon. Thank you for coming out. Annabelle Roma, there has been no reports of him being found safe as of yet. There's no reports of him being found safe as of yet. I am watching. I have WJHL. The last report on WJHL was 13 minutes ago, and it does not say anything about him being found safe. Bear with me a moment here. I'm being told that TBI has it. Bear with me a moment, folks. We're checking it out right now. According to according to Facebook, TBI's page on Facebook, it still says an endangered child alert has been issued on behalf of the Hawkins County Sheriff's for 4-year-old. It's not saying that he has been found. WCYB, which is another local channel, news reporting channel, they are reporting that the child has been found. No other place. Guys, I really am hoping that that he is found. But right now, I'm only finding one source of that. So I'm a little cautious about this. Pug Mom, this appears to be a child that walked away, either following his dog or his dog followed him. Renegade, thank you very much for saying that. But again, folks, I'm only finding one source. Okay, I'm being given information that it's on Twitter, not on Facebook. So let's take a look. Guys, this is really, if he's found right now, this is really breaking news that it just happened, because you heard me read directly from the WJHL's website that it was a update 15 minutes ago, and they're saying that they're now accepting donations. Bear with me a moment. I'm reading Twitter posts from TBI right now. There we go. Here we go, folks. with great news. We are very, very, very happy to report to you all tonight. TBI saying he's found. I'm going to shut Broadcastify off because it's actually timing out. Sorry about this noise, folks. Sorry. Thankfully, he has been found, according to TBI. And just to let you know how fluid this was 7 minutes ago. This was just posted 7 minutes ago, folks. So while we're talking about it, he was found. Thankfully, found. Yes, he was found. So everybody, thank you very much. Pug Mom, Teresa Nielsen, Letblock, Annabelle, Renegade, everybody, thank you for so much for bearing with me as we've covered this, covered the tail end of this story of the child missing, and to be very fluid and up to the moment almost, where we were getting updates that were coming in as we were live talking about it, folks. This is amazing and awesome. I thank everybody for being patient with me while we went through this. Scott H., thank you very much. Yes. It broke just about 8 minutes ago. That, or was posted 8 minutes ago, that he was found. Blank, thank you very much for coming out. Unapproachable Light, thank you very much. Exactly. Unapproachable Light, thank you very much for saying that, because it's exactly what I was trying to be about this. I wanted to make sure that it was absolute. I was only finding one source, and I like to find more than one source. I personally, I'm not very familiar with the news channel I said it was originally reported on. That's why I was going by what WJHL was saying. Paw Patrol, DD, thank you very much. Sugar Mama, thank you very much. Little Wing, thank you very much. If I missed anybody, please, where is the summer? 1-800-TBI Found. TBI Find. Thank you. HDC, that's me. Thank you, everybody for being patient with me while we went and found it. BB Diamond, hello, how are you tonight? Again, folks, as you saw me working through this, I wanted to be extra cautious to make sure that we were giving the correct information. Even though another creator who happens to be on was saying it, I wanted to make sure for myself. But I appreciate everybody's patience with me while we did that. Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, a little bit of business keeping tonight. Thank you. Thank you 100 times over, actually 800 times over. Thank everybody that has subscribed to my channel before and up to now. And LC, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, I do encourage everybody to do so. That way you do know when I go live, and we'll be able to keep up with when I do or when I am going live. As you all do know, I do not go live more than twice a week. In fact, the last time I was live, it was 9 days ago, folks. Teresa, we'll be more than happy to discuss that with you. Bear with me just a moment. Squirrely Girl, thank you very much for coming out. Yes, chapstick. That yes. So let's go and take a moment and recognize one thing. This is Hawkins County. The same county that Summer Wells was from. You have the difference of the original report of this child being missing, going missing around 4 o'clock this afternoon, and hitting the news at approximately 6 o'clock. And I'm not going exact times. I apologize. You have the police on top of it. Hawkins County, just to give everybody an idea, they're not that as far as the law enforcement when it came to going and looking for Summer. I cannot imagine it was any different because they learned from previous to Summer. Remember that Summer Wells had one of the most unprecedented searches that was an undertaking that the Hawkins County did. And to answer the questions, yes, they did have helicopters. If you remember back within a week of Summer Wells missing, and I don't remember the exact date, I want to say it was like the Thursday or the Friday, 2-3 days later, to be more precise, that it started coming out. Don Wells was complaining about the helicopters searching because it kept him up at night. Where Summer 1-800 TBI Find? I would believe they could possibly, if they needed to, have like drones come in or drones being flown from military bases local. But Summer Wells, I don't remember. There was drones, but there was more of it was since it was an unknown technology to I did air quotes on that, by the way, if anybody really wants to know. Unknown technology to Hawkins County, that it was more of it was regular citizens that were using high-tech drones. Yeah, I don't remember anything. There was a helicopter being used with FLIR technology. I don't remember it being ever military. Yes, flip-flop. Exactly. That's my point. Don complained that it was keeping him up at night. Not putting out there, I'm grateful for the search efforts. Not saying, I don't care that it's an inconvenience. Simply that he was complaining that he could not sleep. And it was not from his daughter missing. It was from the helicopters. Yeah, the FLIR was on the helicopter, is what the FLIR technology was on the helicopter. Because I believe they actually had the helicopter that was searching was not at nighttime, was not a medical helicopter. It was probably the state police helicopter, which we've pointed out where the state police location is compared to where the Wells live. And very easily could go to any of the local hospitals if it needed to land, park, and refuel or whatever needed to happen, because they would have that ability there. BB Diamond, yes, exactly. You pass out from exhaustion, you don't go to sleep. You make another pot of coffee. and you literally fall over flat because you cannot stay awake and the caffeine's doing nothing. Now, folks, tonight we're going to be talking about some disinformation. Disinformation that has been coming out in the past 48, 72 hours. The disinformation, I want to be clear about this. We are not faulting in any way, shape, or form the content creators that this happened on. Absolutely not. It's not their fault that these people that we're going to be talking about duped them. The reason I'm saying I'm not going to criticize them, because if they contacted me, I would have had them on as well. But I would hope that if they're the stories that they gave, I would be able to see through, poke holes, and exploit them and for what they were, which is just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. Minnesota girl, gal, I don't think I said hello to you. I'm just going back and make sure I missed anybody before we get way too far into this. Or I start getting into this and forget to say hello to people. So if you're still with us, hello, thank you very much. And of course, everybody, please hit that like, subscribe button, share this out. If you like what I have to say tonight. And again, if you have not hit that subscribe button, please do remind you to do so. I see you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. My dinner's default. Well, no, my dinner doesn't need to thaw. I just got to cook it after I eat, after we get done here. Susan McMillan, thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out and listening. It is either wicked early or wicked late for you out there. So let's get into this. We have two individuals that have stepped forward to say, I'm related to the Wells, or I know the Wells. Remember what we preach here. Be careful who you listen to. Again, I am not faulting the creators. The stories that these folks gave absolutely made no sense. They were designed hit pieces. Renegade, exactly the point of what I was saying, that if these persons presented themselves to me, I would have heard them out, but I would hope they did, that I would see the holes in what they were saying. Let's start with the woman that claims she's Cuz, whoever Cuz is. Who claims that there is, if you had heard me, I actually spoke on TCCT Dumpling about this. who claims that she's kin, that she's hillbilly, that she is there is family that lives in the Tri-Cities of Candy. And on my personal belief, if you go back in time to the beginning of when Summer Wells was missing, there was a group of PIs out of Virginia that tried to capitalize on Summer Wells missing. And in the guise of Summer helping the Wells, we're trying to help them out and represent them. To me personally, it sounds like, hello, Debbie. Thank you very much. WH, thank you for coming out. To me personally, it sounds like, yes, Carrie, that is exactly what it was. The group was We Give You Hope. It sounds like it's one of the PIs from that group. There was at one point a clip of a meeting going around on YouTube, and I don't remember where it happened to. If you want to dig and dig and dig and go back 2 years to try to find all the creators that were covering Summer Wells at that time and find this, bless your heart. Bless you for doing so. I don't have the time to do it. But I remember it. So forgive me as I paraphrase what they were saying. There was a meeting that they held and somebody recorded and then leaked on the YouTube that they were discussing the Wells and how it was best to represent and control the Wells. So very early on, you have this group writing a playbook, setting narratives in motion. And to go a step further, to put disinformation out there. Because if you remember correctly, the flyers that they were posting and taking down there for a while of persons that were saying call TBI and report information to TBI, they wanted you and were encouraging you to call them so they can screen and control the information that was getting turned over to TBI. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. So this whole idea of a narrative and controlling the story and dictating what information was getting turned over to TBI. BB Diamond, if you want, go ahead and email that to me. Email that link to me, and I will gladly get that posted, put into my description, and I'll put a mention of that on the description of this video. I do appreciate you knowing where that video is. Like I said, I did not have time to search it. But BB Diamond will be a person that will be able to tell you that what I'm saying about this group. What I'm telling you about this group is absolutely true. And they did so in such a way that I'm not sure where some are 1-800 TBI find. It's possible it's something I didn't see. But this group was so much trouble, so much energy and effort was put into this that the original disinformation playbook that I keep mentioning, we're talking about tonight. And please understand, I don't know if there's an actual physical that there was an actual physical playbook like you would expect like a sports team to have or anything like that. I don't know if there's anything written or anything like that. I'm just saying they have a mental image of a playbook that they were trying to control and help the Wells by. Not only help the Wells, but to put the narratives in place, to put the control mechanisms to stop them from doing what they did, the drinking, the drugs, the substance abuse on lives, the going to use the bathroom on a live. All of that was things that they were telling them not to do, but they did. In fact, I searched for this group just the other night that Carrie had mentioned earlier because she did have the name right. Either they've changed their name or they don't exist any longer. Honeybee Honeycomb Hideout, thank you very much. I see that you did make it. This group that we're talking about, we can bring you hope. Either has changed their name or they do not exist any longer. Exactly. Nemesis, exactly what I'm saying. But the reason I'm bringing this up is to show you that this disinformation has been happening from the first moments. Not exactly the first moments, but the first few weeks of Summer Wells missing. Apologies, folks. I'm going to take a drink of some root beer, so I muted myself for a moment there. Appreciate your patience with me. The disinformation has been there all along. Yeah, I did. Like I said, I knew they either. I had trouble finding them, is what I'm saying. When I searched for them on Google, bear with me a moment. Let me check this. My Yahoo email. Yes, BB Diamond. Thank you very much. Blog Talk Radio on YouTube. Okay. Like I said, I knew it existed, but I didn't know where it was. Guys, understand I have just like many of you do, I have a, so to speak, 9 to 5 job, and it does limit sometimes my time, their ability to go and search things. So I'm very sorry that I was not able to find that, but I'm thankful to BB Diamond for having the knowledge of where that was. Where's 1-800 TBI Find? They actually did at the time that the Wells had gone missing. They had an office in Virginia as well. So it's possible that they closed that office and only have a location in Pennsylvania now, or relocated to Pennsylvania. It is possible that that could be. Great. Marley's mom, thank you for coming out. I don't know who that is, so I'll be looking into that. Squirrely Girl, there's a whole nother island that would accept them, but it's not a populated place. Let's put it that way. Why I'm thinking. Yeah. For crime victims, we can give you hope. Yeah. So the way they handled the Wells case, it did, or Summer Wells, the way they handled it, and then they basically up and ran like they did. You could tell they were outside of their element, or so it seemed, because what they were, or that the Wells were that just that difficult of a case that they couldn't manage them. But that's getting off topic of who that organization is. The point is that there was always a quote unquote Office of Disinformation surrounding Summer Wells' disappearance. And you have these two individuals that are coming out. As I was saying before, this woman that reminds me of one of the PIs from the We Can Bring You Hope group, who says they are a hillbilly. Very early on, we defined what a hillbilly was because Don Wells was saying some hillbilly came down and took Summer. So get this. Somebody's saying they are located in Pennsylvania. A hillbilly, by definition, is a person that lives west of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, going through and including the state of Ohio. Coincidence. I'm going to tell you that's coincidence, but ironic coincidence that we have somebody coming forward saying, I'm a hillbilly, I'm kin to the Wells, I'm this, that, and the other. Little Wing, I'm not knocking them. I'm a Flatlander. I'm a Flatlander that moved to Northeast Tennessee and fell in love with the mountains here. If you live up in the Northeast, that actually means something to be so to say that you're a Flatlander. That actually means something. It gives a geographic location of where I'm from. Honeybees, honeycomb hideout. I have no problem with anybody using any of my content. The only thing I ask is, and I don't care if it's 20 minutes after I put a video out there, I put a live out there. If you want to use some of my content, all I do is ask is that you give my channel credit for the content, the for the clip or for whatever use of information. Yep, that's exactly right. That's all I ask. It is absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous, Little Wing. Absolutely. The the ironic thing, like I said, mentioning was is there's an area of Pennsylvania that's known as being a hillbilly. Now, I'm not saying that's the conclusion where I based my conclusion from, that she reminds me as a person from that PI group. Because honestly, I didn't know about them being in Pennsylvania, so it was just mentioned in my chat. And I do thank you for doing that. I believe that it was more, that's actually an excellent question. And where's Summer 1-800 TBI Find? It's an excellent question. I don't think so, though. Again, my opinion, because it the card team was made their analysis within hours, within just a few hours of them making this an Amber Alert. It was an Amber Alert about on June 16th, about 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around that time. By dawn, they would have had the analysis to say this is not an abduction. It was that quick, probably quicker than I said. Yep. The group we were talking about was around for a couple months. So I don't believe it had anything to do with card team's decision or declaration that it was not an abduction. The thing about it is, though, that this woman that's claiming she's cuz, that family lives in the Tri-Cities area that's related to Candy. God's Girl 1971. Were you reading my mind or something there? Because I'm just about to talk about that. Candy has no family in the Tri-Cities area. Her family is all in Wisconsin, other than Candace. And when she went back to, or goes back to go out towards Wisconsin, She goes just outside of Chicago. She goes and visits her brother that was released from prison or the halfway house or whatever the arrangement he was in because of the terms of his probation or jail service for his SA out the charges that are so disgusting. It sickens me just to think and read about them. I will not mention them. It's that far gone. He should have never gotten out of prison. Okay, I apologize. I thought it was sooner than that, but okay, it was June 25th. Thank you very much. When I had your when I had where's summer? When I had your TBI find. Thank you. I appreciate that. Renegade, that is an incorrect definition of a hillbilly. A hillbilly is a person from west of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, going through and including Ohio. It has nothing to do with the South. If you wanted to refer to a person that is in the South, refer to them by the mountain region they're from. Northeast Tennessee, you call them either by the Smoky Mountains, the Smokies, or Appalachia. If you called them a hillbilly, they'd probably show you the side of a pew-pew that you don't want to see. They're Appalachia. A hillbilly is from west of Pittsburgh going through Ohio. Sally Mae, hello, how are you doing? Let's remember, folks, that we're talking about Summer Moon, Utah Wells, 6/15/2021. Rogersville, Tennessee. A white female, blonde hair, blue eyes, 40 pounds, 3 foot tall. Last seen wearing gray pants, pink shirt. We believe that's a possible description. Yep, lip lock no more, exactly. And you go by the Ozarks. Right, right. Where's somewhere 1-800 TBI find? You're correct. The Appalachian Mountains reach up to up into Pennsylvania. But when you get into that area of Pennsylvania that's west of Pittsburgh, going into Ohio, you call them hillbillies. It's not the South. That's Yankee country. Lip lock no more. I don't know. Didn't know exactly where you're from, but I knew that there was areas other than I think it's forgive me. It's been about 20, about 18. No. This was back in. Sorry, I'm thinking in my head for a moment here. 2000. No, 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 no. This is late 90s that I was there. Probably 2000. Anyway, somewhere along those lines. It's been a long time since I was out that way. And I think the one of the only differences for regional description in Arkansas, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Lip Lock No More, is when you get to it's they are in the Ozarks. It was Arkansas. I think it's like near Jonesboro. I think is the town's name. They actually refer to people that are by the college if you're living near the college. Yes. Yes, Teresa, absolutely. See, I know a little bit about Arkansas, just a little bit. Cumberland Gap is north of here, but that's not, it's getting off topic. Ah, okay. All right. I was up the northern part of Arkansas, basically a town that doesn't even appear on the map. Um, it literally has like one street light in the whole town. County roads are dirt roads, but anyway, we're getting off topic. To go to a Walmart, you had to go probably 20 miles and across a lake that had one of the longest bridges I can ever remember. No, 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 Lip Lock, you're fine. I'm actually, that's my own doing. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got off on a rabbit trail there. You didn't distract me any. Does it have a bridge that's like 2 miles long? Like I said, it's been about 20 years since I've been there, so I don't remember exactly. It's like 2 or 2.5 miles long to go across this lake. That's probably it. But anyway, folks, the point what I'm making, where I'm getting to, is that this person gave away regionally where they're from by bringing up and again giving the definition of where a hillbilly is. Sheba Mom, thank you very much for coming out. Appreciate you doing so. Butterfly Kisses, hello, I see you as well. Thank you. She gave regionally away where she is from. And that she actually has no knowledge of Northeast Tennessee. None whatsoever. Lip Lock No More, do not ever feel like you need a hush in this chat room. You are always welcome here. I had a direction I was going, and I got off on a rabbit trail on my own. Not you. You didn't do it. I did it. Annabelle Roma, thank you very much for being here. She gave away that she has no knowledge of anything about Northeast Tennessee. And it wasn't like a person that was just not used to public speaking and had a misspeak moment. That you just have that moment where something comes out of your mouth and you're trying to say it one way, in the middle of it, your mind says it another way. Like in your mind, you know what you want to say, and it just comes out backwards. And that actually happened to me on that live the other night, where I was getting tired and I said something that it just came out backwards. Had a good laugh, corrected myself, and apologized. Pen 1010, thank you very much. This was intentional. This was deliberate. This was, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. I've researched this. I've done it so you don't have to moment. Yeah, lip lock no more. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, it was way past bedtime when I said it. The She has no knowledge of anything in Tennessee. Again, I'm going to say this again. If somebody came up to me and said that I'm kin to the Summer Wells and I have information, I would have given them a moment to listen. So I do not fault, and I want to be clear about that. I do not fault the creators that had heard them out. But at the same time, the person that spoke up to say this information needs to be called out and pointed out to say who they are. Disinformation. Distraction. They have blocked. Yes, exactly. TBI won't believe us. We've contacted them and they won't listen. There's no point in contacting them. They won't listen. Anything along the lines of that. If it's credible, they're going to listen. Oh, TCC Dumpling. It's more than just her. So, whether or not you like another creator, I don't intend or I don't pretend that I have any right or will or anything to influence you from not listening to it or was listening to it. Butterfly Kisses, the person only identified themselves as cuz. It was a woman. Yep. She did. I've pointed this out on one other person that makes commentary. This person doesn't make content. They make commentary on Summer Wells. And at the time, I said it was either psychology, sociology, or it could have even been public speaking classes. What I remember being in college that this comes from. It's a theory that the professor I had called cab speech, cab driver speech, where they make the phrases, use the phrases, "Believe me, I've researched this so you don't have to. You can look it up if you want, but you really don't have to." Type of language. Listen to me. I'm telling you the truth. It's then and when you hear somebody say those phrases that you've got to sit there, stop, and dig into what they're saying. Because they don't want you to look up what they're saying. They want you to blindly accept what they're saying to be the truth. And that's what you have with this woman that only would identify herself as cuz. So we have more people arriving in tonight, a little bit on the late side, and I'm not saying you're late. I'm just saying, hey, how you doing? I appreciate you coming out. Lori P, Matthew Cunningham, thank you very much. Sally Mae, you have it exactly right. They want sheep. D, that's where we're going. We're going to next. They want sheep. They want you to blindly sit there and accept that they know exactly what they're talking about when they don't. Radmilla Rickson, thanks very much for coming out tonight. Appreciate you. They don't know what they're talking about. Teresa, I liked it because it's true. It's true. These are the people that you started seeing, and they were using or trying to use some creators, being Don Wells, Candace Wells, at one point, to push their disinformation, promote their disinformation for them. See, when I say that you got to be careful who you listen to, it's not just a creator. You got to decipher and dig through what a person is saying. Matthew Cunningham, I cannot agree any more than you said so eloquently just now. No matter if your religious belief or not, God, we need your help. Please, Lord, help us bring answers to Summer. I just can't and want to give up on her being found. No matter if you believe it's recovery or if it's rescue, 2 years is too much. We're 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks of her going missing. Funny Face Brenda Ziggy is a credible. In my opinion, she is credible. Again, I'm not trying to influence anybody from going and watching any one particular creator or another. Ziggy has followed, been covering Summer Wells pretty much from early on. She did take a little bit of a hiatus and is back now, but she has, no matter who you talk about to, no matter what creator you talk about, you can sit there and say that somebody's made a mistake or flaw, or they've come out with information that they were told was true, but proven later it wasn't. Every single creator does it. The police do it too. And it's not that they're lying to try to deceive somebody on purpose. All the evidence points in a direction until one piece of evidence points in a different direction. So, Funny Face Brenda, Ziggy is actually good, in my opinion. Some will disagree. Some won't. But that's my opinion on it. No, Kathy Marsh. Tennessee is not Hillbilly. Stop with that. You can just stop with that right now. BB Diamond, exactly. And that's my point, is no matter what creator you go and watch, no matter what creator you go and watch, I've made mistakes. I've put out misinformation. And just as being responsible as anybody else, I made a mistake and I came back on in the next live when I researched it further, or it was pointed out that I misunderstood something. I corrected myself. So I'm not above that at all, what I said about creators in general. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. We're not the police. We don't have the information that the police have. Laurie P, yes, we covered that at the beginning of our live tonight. He was actually found safe. We covered that. We were talking about that, about him being missing, and while we were talking about it, we found reports from TBI on Twitter, on WCYB, I believe it is, and probably WJHL is at this point, that he was safe. He found safe. Carrie, thank you very much. I appreciate you putting that up for me. As always, folks, this content is my platform is to encourage discussion where opinions are welcome. You have to remember that the opinions and information and the way I'm presenting for you is to point you in a direction to research for yourself, to understand the information. I'm not here to give you an absolute. And that's why Carrie puts up that this content is and discussion is all opinionated and allegedly. Carrie Bishop, thank you for coming out. If I didn't say hello to you already. So there's this other person that called Ziggy last night, who sounds like he's originally from here. Who did not identify himself other than to be kin to a person that was arrested in a 32-person drug bust. Respectfully, I'm going to tell you, if you want to hear that full conversation, to go to Ziggy's channel. We'll take a look at her live from last night. I'm not giving names. What I am going to be saying about that phone call from last night, that you actually had somebody that was from the area, had the correct accent, had the correct manner of speaking, probably a little bit of liquid courage in them. Thank you, Carrie, for putting that out there. I believe that is the link to the live that she had done last night, that Carrie Lawson had just put up there. So if anybody wants to take a look at that last night, you will see that I'm in the chat room, so you can tell that, yeah, I got this information firsthand. Yes, butterfly kisses. Yes, he was definitely ragging on JSB. And JSB had a wonderful reaction. If you knew where to look for, if you know where to look for her, she was live when it happened, and her reaction was priceless. Is what I will say about that. You have two different ways of looking at what a person says. Two different ways. Either they're trying to flood you with so much information that it's hard to discern, to dig through, to clear out what is the truth, what is wrong. We've said many times on this channel that you need hip boots, because the misinformation, the disinformation has gotten so deep. Hello, New Orleans lady. Thank you for coming out. The disinformation has gotten so deep that you actually need the hip boots to wade through the muck. We've been saying that one of these days, they're finally going to tell you the truth of what happened, but nobody's going to believe them because they've given so much disinformation, misinformation, that it's going to be impossible to tell. It's going to become impossible to tell. They flooded you with so much information, you can't see the forest through the weeds. And then you have the opposite, which is what actually was happening last night. Yes, he was giving information. Yeah, yes, Carrie, I agree. We are actually pointing the point. We're getting to the point where you need a full hazmat suit, self-contained with your own air supply. I agree. We're getting to that point if we have not already passed it. But still, point being, it's horrible. Where's somewhere 1-800 TBI Find? Exactly. Distract. And that's exactly what you had last night. I'm going to come up here and talk to you. But when I come up here and talk to you, I'm not going to talk about it. We're only going to hint about it. We're going to just slice off the crust of the pizza and say we had a full slice of pizza tonight. That's what was happening last night. Again, because of sensitivity of who these people are that he was talking about, and it was all about the 32 people that were arrested. If you want to know the great detail, WJHL, Times News, they go into the full detail of that story of what happened. I will refer you to them because just like the video I said, I would only talk about one particular county one time. It's not smart to talk about these individuals. Locals know who these individuals are. When these individuals enter a facility, and if they look like they're ticked off, and frankly, let's just say pissed off, you walk the other way. You get away from them. Most of them are behaving right now because of their they were assigned a certain amount of time in jail, and I believe some of them are out on probation. It's the only reason some of them are behaving and not going back to the routines and the lifestyle that they did before. And yes, respectfully, I am saying these are the good old boys that you hear about hanging out in the mountains, hanging out in the middle of nowhere, where they're making shine, where they're growing illegal, questionable or illegal substances, where they're doing things that you just don't want to know about. Where some are 1-800 TBI Find. Yes. Hopefully. because Josh, the lab, has it exactly right. He was on before I was tonight. There is a possibility that something could be presented to the grand jury tomorrow. That begins tomorrow. But there's always that possibility that they're not quite ready. And they're going to delay and call an emergency session. Josh is correct about that. I'll go a step further to say that that's not common here in the South, or at least in Hawkins County. They try to hold it over to being the quarterly session. But if all the cards fall into place and again, I still believe that they are holding out for summer, the rescue or recovery of Summer. But it is still possible that something could be related to Summer Wells be presented to the grand jury tomorrow. We just don't know because it's all sealed indictments. We just don't know. Barb Blitzer, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Appreciate you doing so. BB Diamond, exactly. Lots of variables. Honeybee, tomorrow is actually the grand jury for Hawkins County, specifically Rogersville. It was set for June 1st. Yes, Matthew Cunningham. Yes. I will encourage anybody and everybody to understand what Matthew was just saying. There's a video I did. Bear with me a second here. Video I did that when I said there's the video I will not talk about, or I will not talk about the subject matter of it. There's a purpose for it, folks, and I was not holding. I was actually holding back on this information until I couldn't hold back any longer. And in the video, I said that I would only talk about this one time. Once. And I titled it as being new information on map details, because for those who know who I am or have been following me for a long time, when I dive into Google Maps related to Summer Wells or any missing person, as we started off tonight, when I get into the maps, we start deep diving on information, and I mean deep diving. We've had creators join us. John Q, haven't seen him around in a while, but I know he's still making content when he can. But that link that I just posted in the chat room now is the video I'm referring to that I made, and I said I would only cover the subject matter and talk about this subject matter one time. It has everything to do with the wells and the surrounding area, it is well worth a watch. Betty Smith, thank you very much for coming out tonight. Canadian Cookie, hello. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. It will explain a lot. That video I'm referring to will explain a lot about what that phone call was last night. I don't go into the detail of naming those persons specifically, but you can tie it all in to that video. Miss Justice, thank you very much for coming out tonight and dropping that link for John Q. Who said what? Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming out. I'm telling you that video, and again, it's a research this for yourself. Please research this for yourself. Take the information I'm giving you on that, and apply it to what that call was for last night that Ziggy had handled. Miss Justice, thank you very much. I do appreciate you doing that. And Miss Justice, thank you for reminding me. If you are part of the replay crew, past, present, or future, I always appreciate. And if you're part of that replay crew, if you leave comments on my videos, you know that I reply. I hold conversations through the comments section with when I'm not live with persons that post comments. I'll do you one better, Annabelle Roma. I will pin it because I just posted it into the chat room. This is the video that I'm referring to. Bear with me a second. Give me a moment to find it. Apparently, I didn't share it correctly, so bear with me a moment here. I apologize, everybody. Try this. Again, the video should be called New Information on New Information and Thoughts on the Map. Yep, that's to the video. New thoughts on some map details is actually what the title of the video is. So there we go. It's pinned at the top if anybody wants to know. so they can bookmark it, whatever they want to do with it. But I believe that information will help you understand the point of that call and the details and extent that it goes through. Yes, Teresa. And the title of that is because I spend a lot of time, as I was mentioning earlier, I do spend a lot of time on looking at the map of this region and talking about it and showing the problems that the searchers have had, and that why Don Wells, information about Don Wells being at work on June 15th doesn't make sense. BB Diamond, I'm saying that the video that I did, and guys, you're going to have to forgive me. I have got to light a candle. Bear with me just a moment. BB Diamond, I will answer your question in just a moment. Forgive me for all the noise here for a moment, guys. I apologize. Miss Kitty, hello. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for coming out. BB Diamond, I actually don't have plans later. The only thing, my only plans later is to have a vegetarian version of tacos. My apologies. I was just making sure you guys didn't hear something that I was. We're not going to discuss that further, and it has nothing to do with. We'll just blame it on outside. No, this is BB Diamond. BB Diamond, this is actually a sage candle that I'm burning right now. Annabelle Roma, my point of saying that so you can understand what that caller was talking about, and him mentioning the 32 individuals that were part of a major drug bust that happened in Northeast Tennessee was all to just again, I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to throw more information out there, but there really is going to be no substance. There's no point. The only point that I can figure out from that call last night is to say that You listen, you take the time to understand that video that I put out there, that I posted, pinned to the top of the chat, and we're gonna move on from this in just a moment. And I'm gonna see if anybody wants to join me. And like I said, anybody's welcome tonight to talk about summer. I go into details that will help explain the call and all of what he's referring to, all the names he names, and how he's related to who and what's going on and this, that, and the other. There's a lot of information that goes through Hawkins County and through Beach Creek and it's not good. Funny face Brenda, the reason I split the county that way is Beach Creek technically is part of Rogersville. But because of its location and where Rogersville is actually in the county, it oftentimes gets covered by Kingsport or Sullivan County, or mainly Kingsport, more than anything else, or Churchill, Mount Carmel. They rotate it because it's closer to these other cities, other locations, than it is to Rogersville. Beach Creek is pretty much tucked into the southeast corner of Hawkins County. You go over the Hawkins County, Sullivan County border, and you're in Kingsport. Let's take a look at it. I wasn't planning on doing this, folks. Bear with me a moment. Bear with me a moment, folks. I appreciate your patience with me. Uh-oh. I went and done it now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are not familiar with this location, this is where 110 Ben Hill Road is. Beach Creek Road, 347. Ben Hill Road runs down this way. It's south. This area where the roads start to disappear actually go up into a mountain. This mountain runs all along the south side, southeast side, and southern side of Hawkins County. Excuse me. Yes, Hawkins County. If you come around the side here, and have learned and have heard me talk about Chimney Top Loop right here, and also we've talked extensively about Horton Highway right here. From Ben Hill Road, in order to get to I-81, to give everybody a reference of where we're at, you don't go, even though most people that are not familiar with this area would say you would go all the way down this way, which is down through Rogersville. Okay. You actually come up to going into Sullivan County, or towards Sullivan County, this direction, to the east, northeast. You'll make a right-hand turn. Old Blair's Gap Road takes you over to Horton Highway. Like I said, well, it turns into Gum Spring Road. My apologies. And it takes you over to Horton Highway. Name changes, the road changes along the county border. Horton Highway, if you follow through here, again, like I said, it brings you over to Chimney Top Loop, but you split off here, Ryan Road. So everybody can see what I'm talking about here. Ryan Road. And it brings you around sorry, I reset my map there for a second. I'm getting back to where I was. It brings you around and over to Geraldstown Road. I had to think of how to pronounce that name right. And there is a way back here. Ryan Road, Geraldstown Road. There is a way right back here. To get on 81. Okay. Just so everybody has an idea where we're talking about. That's how they would go to get on 81. All right. And going from where they lived, the reason I mentioned this area back here, and yes, I'm just zooming around, zipping around here to show you area. All right. This area back here, there's 3 different counties that you would cross while getting on 81. Three different counties. Over here, Ben Hill Road. This is Hawkins County. You go up over this way into this general area. And again, because I don't know exactly where the county line breaks, but I know it's where the roads change names. You go into Sullivan County. And then you come back down this way on the backside of the mountain here. Backside of the mountain from Ben Hill Road. You are in Greene County. Yes, CTL is Chimney Top Loop. Okay, so to sit there and say you would go all the way down to Rogersville, that's not correct information. because from where the Wells lived, that once you go past this point here, you're actually, you're considered to be in Kingsport. This isn't the true to Kingsport border, but it's an outskirt. Kingsport has like major cities. Let's use New York City as an example. You have the Bronx, you have Queens, you have Harlem, you have I'm forgetting the other two boroughs off the top of my head, but there's 5 boroughs that make up New York City. Kingsport's divided in a similar way, where you have different regions of Kingsport. Some of the regions don't identify themselves as being Kingsport. They'll say that they're from that particular area, not Kingsport, but they're part of Kingsport, if that makes sense. Just like somebody that lives in the Bronx in New York City, if you are in New York City and you ask them where they're from, they're going to tell you the Bronx. They're going to tell you Queens. They're going to tell you Staten Island. They're not going to tell you New York City. You have that type of mentality, that same type of regional area or the regional location that happens here. Of course, and obviously, Kingsport is nowhere near the size of New York City, but it just gives you a comparison so you understand. If you live down here near Fort Henry Mall, you're going to say you live near Fort Henry, or you live in Fort Henry. And if you say you live downtown, this is the area you refer to as downtown. This whole archway section here, arched section here of roads, that's downtown. Where Summer 1-800 TBI Find. Where does the time change? So Tennessee, Northeast Tennessee is two different time zones. It's once you get west of Knoxville that the time changes. Knoxville and east is Eastern time. West of Knoxville is Central time. Yep, that's the so funny face, Brenda. That's actually a really good point. It was crucial for them to do so. With the disappearance of Summer Wells and everything that has gone on, it was crucial for them to do so. When you look at Tennessee, there's probably I'm thinking here for a second. You know how they rank cities top 5 or counties top 5, top 10 type of deal? Or the bottom 5, bottom 10 type of deal? As far as uh, um, Hawkins County would rank, to explain why, I'll explain and understand. There's a point in this, so bear with me a second here. Hawkins County is definitely, as far as having money, having funds, having wealth in the county. Don't get me wrong, there are people that are very affluent in Hawkins County, but the overall of Hawkins County would be in the bottom 10 if you rank the most affluent county going all the way down to the least affluent county. Would definitely be in the bottom 10, probably in the bottom 5. Off the top of my head, I can think of 4 counties that I would think of or have less money, less funds available to the county than Hawkins County. But I'd be very confident in saying it's definitely in the bottom 10. So it was essential for other counties, the TBI, the sheriff's department, the state police, the FBI, to all get involved the way they did because of resources. Yes, the goal always was to put all the manpower they possibly can into finding Summer Wells. But if they needed additional information or additional resources that the county or the state or TBI or FBI had that Hawkins County could not afford, then absolutely they needed the larger counties, Sullivan County, Washington County. They needed the larger counties to step in and join them and help them out. So when Summer went missing, it was essential for the other counties and the state and the step in. So I've gone ahead and replaced the pinned link with a link to join me up on the live here. Anybody is welcome to join me. I always say that, but please understand. And hello, John Q. I did see you, and yes, that is you. You motivated me to put that in there. If you wish to join me, please do. No pressure. I do. If I know the person is a creator, understand everybody. I do prioritize to have creators join me. But if I have enough space for anybody to join me, anybody is welcome to do so. And yes, John Q must have. John Q, you had to know. You had to know. It's been all too long. TCC T Dumpling, thank you very much. You're more than welcome to do so. The link is pinned. Let's see here. TCC Dumpling, we are talking about the 2 callers that have appeared within the past 72 hours with the disinformation. Sure, you're welcome, Dumpling. That's fine. Not a problem. But again, no pressure to anybody. If anybody wants to join, you're welcome to. Don't have to. And we do have a taker. And it's Mr. John Q. Q. Thank you very much, sir. I do appreciate you joining me.
RJ.
What is going on?
Hello, everybody.
Teresa, I was saying that anybody's welcome to join me live on stream to be up on panel with me.
Much love to everybody in the chat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Carrie Lawson, Miss Justice, Teresa Nelson, Funny Face. All right. So you've got Lip Lock in here?
Yes.
Lip Lock is in here?
Yes.
Oh man, I love her.
Scott H was here earlier.
Oh, Scott was in here too? Cool.
Yes.
Cool. I see you is up in here. Okay.
I've been getting a lot of new faces.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're putting in the work.
I'm trying. I'm going to say I'm trying. You know, like you, we only really go live when we have something that really needs to be put out there.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's you don't hear from us in a week, and sometimes you hear from us 3 times in a week when we shoot for twice a week.
Yeah, you know, because you have to construct content.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one thing about being a content creator, me going on 5 years, is that you know, if I want to put something together to go live, you know, I've got to structure it. It's got to, you know, be a component that follows a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type of line that's going to be a good conversation, a good discussion, a good presentation, if you will, you know?
No, exactly. And that's exactly the way I try to be. I try to have a high bar. And if I don't feel something hits that high bar mark that I want to be at, I don't go live with it. I continue to research. I backburner it and research it further until I'm satisfied and say it's at that high bar mark that I'm ready to go with it.
Correct. Yep.
But the tonight is really that the disinformation that has been coming out in the past 72 hours, and the one video to help explain with what one particular caller on another channel, on Ziggy's channel, was actually trying to talk about last night, but kept hedging their bets, so to speak.
Now, Summer's case is going on 2 years, the 15th of June.
Yes.
Which is right around the corner. And I would
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I'd figure, you know, there would have been some kind of new developments, you know, coming out of the Attorney General's office or Detective Pruitt or, you know, something in terms of an update on the consistent investigation still open under this case, but yet I've heard nothing other than the Summer Wells Reward Fund, and I found that out on Liplock's channel, and then I went back to find out and double check that, Tim Coop was something else in regards to his verbiage, in what he did on that video piece. And I'm glad I came across that under lip lock, and I said, okay, what are they having? They still having a problem with the money that was put together, number one, but yet given over to the Children's Advocacy Center. Yet it's not, the $74,000 amount, because you've had retractors, that had occurred within the body of the reward fund, breaking it down, 39,000. Okay. But all that's from us.
Right. Exactly. And that's something that I think that Tim Cook in that video that they put together and put out, was it a week ago Sunday?
Yeah. It was very poor language, extremely poor language, to say hundreds of thousands of dollars. How do you get hundreds of thousands of dollars when it was only $74,000?
Right. Yeah. That was a big.
Where was that number coming from? It's like, okay, can he count?
No. Yeah.
I know he misspoke. I mean, it was relatively easy to pull that out of the verbiage that he used. I said, does he know what he sound like? Is he coming back to, correct that? It wasn't hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's okay. Well, if it was $100,000, you would have a receipt for it, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And if it did, why are you only giving them 39,000 of it?
Right.
So, yeah, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I laughed, and I thank you, Miss Liplock, no more, for bringing that, on your channel, on your page, to put some very severe clarification on that, especially for the knuckleheads overseas, who chime on that. They chime on it, Oh, it was more. They did scam. Oh, we told you so, and all this other stuff, So it's like, okay.
Yeah, well, there's been a bit of radio silence from that particular person or persons as of late. And I happened to find out about it the same way you did.
Yeah.
It was just quietly released, and it was on Lip Lock that I heard about it, and I was like, oh my goodness, did they finally get? Wow. Okay. Yeah. Great. The money finally got to where it belongs.
I love the way she put the body of the context together too. If you haven't seen it, you got to go to Liplock's channel. For those that are in the chat room that haven't seen that video, go back and check out how she put that together. And she 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now do you have the answer? I mean, you can't break it down any simpler than notice that Tim Coop misspoke. And if he was to catch himself, like there was a very small piece in there where he did hesitate. Almost like, did you forget something? Hundreds of thousands versus the 39 you're given. You're kind of putting yourself out there in the wrong way, aren't you, Tim?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's not for the reward fund contributors to prove it. It's for Tim Coop to prove it about the 100 of hundreds and thousands of dollars. You would have to have a receipt for that kind of money. He was giving them a check. It was only for 39, 38,000, whatever was left of the reward fund before people pulled out. There was no challenges on it other than the people who pulled out, 25,000, 10,000, whoever else pulled out.
And let's be upfront about that those checks were always a hold. They were never designated as to be deposited in the account. They were given to the bank to hold that the funds. And they said that if the fund was claimed,
right,
then yes, there was to go ahead and clear and give that money to the person that did so. But if it did not clear, then they were to be returned to the person that wrote the check, let's say, or put that money on hold.
Right.
So, there was always that clear indication with the bank that the bank Oh, let's not get started on that bank. Where they botched up things and whatnot, and what it looked like if you paid attention to the wording of the um, lawsuits or the request for a court decision or the direction, whatever you want to look at it, where they had actually messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm looking for an update from police law enforcement on this case. When was the last update? The official last update, either by Pruitt or Lawson or anybody.
The 1 year anniversary.
That's it?
That's it.
But these people are really working hard for tax dollars, aren't they?
Well, hey, no, I'm gonna back you down on that one, because there was a tonight, for those that are going to go back and watch the beginning of tonight, that there was a endangered child alert that went out of Rogersville, and he was found by the at the time that my life had started tonight. So they did earn their money today.
Oh, okay. Oh, real quick now, huh?
They earned their money today. I'll give you that one.
What about what's the name from TBI? Earnhardt?
Yes.
I forget her first name. Leslie?
Yes, Leslie Earhart. So
Yeah.
Sally Mae is actually saying that in our chat, and we're going to get to a couple chat comments real quick here.
Okay.
That Leslie made a statement about YouTubers a couple of days ago. Was it related to Summer Wells, though? Was it saying that there's no new information about Summer Wells, or that the other thing that I've heard is that they are not planning on having a press conference on June 15th this year? That's my question. But we have a couple comments I've been looking at here. One is from Angel Girl. I think it's better that law enforcement is being quiet because they don't want any mistakes before they arrest the Wells.
Oh, for a year? A whole year? I mean, just an update, just to let us know that we're still working on it. I mean, it's been almost 2 years now. And it's been a major case over that period of time, enough to say that the Attorney General, that the Sheriff's Department, that TBI, those three agencies, make a statement. They don't necessarily have to say anything other than what they've said already, which is, we're still working on it. That's all. Just to let the public know that, hey, Summer's life counts. And we're still on the beam. We're still looking for her. And for those with information, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. There's something to connect with the public with.
Honestly, I've not heard anything, and I usually try to stay on top of anything coming out of TBI, even though it's not always easy, because some of it's not even from it's from all of Tennessee, and Tennessee is a big state.
Yeah.
It really is a big state. It borders 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 other states.
7 other states, yeah.
I mean, it's big.
They had the FBI involved, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought the CARD team or something like that, Child Abduction Response Deployment Team. They had, the K-9, they had Search and Rescue, they had Churchill Search and Rescue. Somebody say something outside of, the reward fund now being, given to the Child's Advocacy Center as it was promised, and they received money they didn't have from an effort from loving people online called YouTube, doing a marathon for the very first time and was successful at it.
Oh, yeah.
Amongst all of the botched up information that came along with that from various different channels across YouTube, you know, the Children's Advocacy Center received Summerwell's marathon reward money from the efforts of those across the world that chipped in whatever they could.
Mm-hmm.
$1.50, $2, $5, $10, and you know, we had some nice numbers come in from some huge loving people, and we know who they are. You know, and I knew that when it got to a certain point, I said, I hope, you know, the Churchill Rescue Squad and the Civis Bank don't screw this up. That was my biggest, you know, concern, you know, from where we came from. And yet we actually got a chance to see the conclusion of the efforts of that marathon be handed over to the Children's Advocacy Center nonetheless.
Sure. Absolutely.
Nonetheless. And now
Angel,
we all know what that amount is.
Right.
You know, who stood and stayed the course? We did.
Yep.
We did.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of every single person that made whatever contribution that they made, the content creators, the time contributions on just doing the marathon, more or less trying to handle something we've never ever handled before or had any experience or knowledge of doing. It was just an organic idea that just popped up and, okay, you game? Okay, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can change the course of the reward fund. Maybe somebody will come up, step up.
Absolutely.
That's what it was all about anyway.
Yep. Angel Girl also says, even though we want answers now, you're right. Absolutely. We want answers now. There are steps that need to be put in place. And you're right. Angel Girl, you're absolutely right. Every single person that is and declares himself part of Summer's army, no matter what side of the fence that you sit on, whether you're pro Wells or you are pro, if you're Team TBI as far as information, and you're pro Summer Wells.
Well, that's what it's all about is Summer and nobody else.
Right. In the end, you want one of two things. And this is why I say you either want recovery or you want rescue. But the result is the same. You want to know what happened or why it happened. The why is going to be harder to know than the what happened to Summer.
Yeah. See, and that's got to come out of my primary, and I've spoken about this before. See, that's got to come out of Candace's mouth. Summer was with Candace.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Dynamite, I don't mind if you clip me. I don't mind. All I will say is respectfully, make sure that you are using the full quote of what I said in its correct context. And you give credit to my channel. But go for it. You're welcome to do so.
Yeah, see, that's who's got the answers for me. Because Summer was with her mother that day. Good old mom. Outside of the other stories about grandma and all the and what's his name, H, and some other people, Candace was the one responsible for Summer that day. Mm-hmm. Even if Don was at work, let's just say hypothetically, even if he was there, who's responsible for Summer? Candace.
Right, exactly.
So that's my primary, been my primary, will always be the primary until it comes from the primary's mouth, and that's Candace. Don and his simpleton self, being the one to try to put the fire out kind of thing. That's all I considered Don's stories to be about anyway. It's called "Put the Fire Out" stories. We don't know. We have no idea. Yeah.
Well,
Was at work that day. I don't mean to rant on, but
no. You're fine. What I was going to say is it's a story of the further you look into the past, the further you look into the more you understand the present and can see the future. With Don Wells, this is where we were talking about earlier before you had joined. Is about a lot about the disinformation that's going on, and that how he's actually involved in the disinformation.
Yeah.
Which a lot of my content, has been focused on why Don Wells you can't trust a word he says.
Because he's still dealing with the same situation. He's
right.
Still walking in circles about the whole situation, and that's the only place that's the only thing that he's done. It's the only thing he is doing and will continue to do.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so the pressure's got to really be put on Candace, and she's still going in circles as well.
And their circles keep bumping into each other and
into each other. Correct. They got to hang on. They got to ride this horse until the horse dies. On it. But that's why I said we're coming close to 2 years. Anything new? Anything no. that came out of this? Is there continuous month-to-month reporting from law enforcement or public officials about summer? We're still here. Are they still putting up flyers? Are they still having discussions?
No.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Yeah. Crazy.
Nothing. It's really gotten down to with YouTube that I can count them on one hand of who I would consider to be reliable, constant and consistently covering Summer Wells. Well, okay, less than, including you, with 6 people. And I'm going to give myself the credit of saying I'm one of those 6 people.
She tweeted 7 hours ago, "We have no plans to hold a news conference at this time as there is no new information to release publicly."
That's what I was saying. There's the TBI is not holding a press conference this year on June 15th. No.
I mean, is there going to be something special that's going to be done? Usually, people would put out word, June 15th of this month, or next month, we plan to do a visual or plan to do an outing, plan to do an anniversary, plan to do, something.
There's
some news would come out about that.
So there's one YouTuber, from what I understand, that has a pavilion rented at Warrior State Park to have a something going on.
Oh, okay. What, a YouTuber?
A YouTuber, yep. But I worry, and excuse the way I say this, but I worry that that's just not going to be anything but a shit show.
Another one?
Oh, yeah.
Typical. Yeah. Oh my God! People fighting over and trying to take credit over nothing, huh?
Yeah. It's gotten to the point where that one channel that you and I were on talking about Summer Wells that we both don't mention anymore.
Okay.
He's basically decided that they're going to have a private thing for the Wells on their property, even though the Wells aren't even in Tennessee and have no plans to return to Tennessee anytime soon. And then you have this creator that's doing this other thing that's in Warrior State Park. If you don't know, it's common knowledge now that the Wells are actually holed up in a hotel working and in Arkansas.
Oh, really?
Yes.
They're in a
They're not in
hotel
Tennessee
now. They're not at 110 Ben Hill?
No, nobody's at 110 Ben Hill.
Oh man. Damn. Because you figured, if you're Don and Candace, coming close to a 2-year anniversary, they would be the ones pioneering some kind of special event for June 15th. We've gotten together with such and such a group or out here where we are now. And we've collaborated to do this type of a function, to continue to get the word out about summer. Something from them directly, not a YouTuber, even though they are both YouTubers. But I'm just saying, outside of, non-biological, family members, let's just say, themselves, to continue the march. This is not over. It won't be over until we find out what happened to Summer. Whether she's rescued or recovered. What happened to her? There's a logical explanation as to what happened June 15th of 2021.
Yeah, there has to be. And we can continue to hope and pray that we find out. And we've crossed the timeline. If you go statistically by what TBI and FBI puts out there about missing children, we've crossed the timeline or the mark where they have it's crossed into being it's going to be a miracle like Elizabeth Smart. Or
Right.
what was the other teenager that was being chained up in a basement of and a neighbor helped freed her. I don't think it was Elizabeth Smart, but there was another girl with the similar story. It's crossed into that timeline that if they are going to rescue Summer, it's years. And looks like it's going to take years to do so. And
didn't someone do an not age regression, but progression type of photo of Summer to kind of give us an idea of what she would look like today, type thing? Or was that ever done? It was just
it was done. It was done.
Oh, it was okay.
The Meteor manager has it.
The media manager.
Meteor manager. Yeah, he has that information. And
the Wells, the Wells manager?
Mr. Tim Mullins.
Oh, him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Candace likes to call him the Meteor manager.
Okay, we see how far that's going already.
Oh no, we'll get him going in a moment. Trust me. All I got to do is ask you if you had a cup of coffee lately. We'll really get him going.
Yeah, definitely had my nose dipped too.
Oh.
Because Miss Justice would, she loves to remind people about my coffee. You do too, I notice.
Oh, I like to have a little bit of fun with and joke around. That's all,
Yeah, but to hear at least for, some kind of good news, the Children's Advocacy Center, received that reward fund.
Absolutely.
I was very happy to hear that. And I was very happy to hear that it was more directly from us than anybody else. What if we didn't show up?
Hey, Rapper, thanks for the comment. Hope you have a good night. And there you go, just for you, John.
Yeah. Oh, see, she's already thinking about it. She's already thinking about it. Give a
She
little
is.
swirl on top, Miss Justice. A little swirl on top. Little swirl on top.
A little dollop of Cool Whip, and you're all set to go.
3 to 4 inches high, nice and high.
For those who don't know, this is a running joke coming from John Q's channel. It really is just a running joke, guys.
Really running, yeah. Almost 2 years now running, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I said, that's the last time I tell people about my coffee. Oh, you put it out on social media. Oh, forget about it.
Denelin too, the legendary. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate you doing so. You're going to want to go back and be replay crew on this because we're just talking, and we are talking some about Summer Wells, but we're kind of winding down tonight. So, but I do appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, no, I wanted to jump up, and I've been I think I caught the last two lives you did. I said, oh man, you know, because I'm working back here behind the scenes on the Tyree Nichols case, which is getting ready to go live. I think either Friday or Saturday.
Have they released that information yet? I know they were going to be releasing more information.
Yeah, no, we're digging out those new developments now. You know, so you know, we're putting together an outline to do a live on a different content creators channel to get that out there on the roundtable. That is, for most of the folks that know of me working on the roundtable, it is on a different channel. And then I was going to come back and revisit the Daniel Robinson case on my channel. I've been trying to get David Robinson to join me to give us any updates that because it's going on 2 years for him too. Come the 23rd of June. Summer goes missing the 15th. His son goes missing on the 23rd. Yeah.
And also, if anybody also has been following, I'm still keeping an eye on the Nashville school shooting that happened just a couple months ago. And to give everybody an update on that, they've turned over that woman's manifesto over to a judge.
God, she had a manifesto?
Yes, she had. They've turned over 2 versions of the manifesto. One is unredacted. The other one is, from my understanding, is heavily redacted. They're waiting for a judge's decision of which version is going to be released to public. And I've not heard anything beyond that as of yet.
Wow. Okay, funny face, Brenda. Much love to you. She said good night.
Have a good night, funny face, Brenda. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Yes, he has, and we're dropping Lockham. We were talking about that at the beginning of the live. We were putting that information out there as it was being posted by TBI and the local news stations from the Tri-Cities area here. That they were starting to report that he was found and he was found safe. He's fine. So we covered that live at the beginning of the live tonight.
That's good. See, that's good news.
That's exactly what I was saying to you a few moments ago, where I said, well, they earned their money tonight. They earned it. They found him.
Wow. Thank you, Ms. Justice, for posting that in the chat in regards to David Robinson having a YouTube channel, as well as a website called Please Help Find Daniel.
Yep.
So I'm looking to get an update from him directly. I just may go ahead and just go live with what I have, but I wanted him to join me because of the movement and developments of the case in which he could share as an update was most important to me to get out.
Right,
you know.
right.
But I'll be able to tie that down pretty shortly to have him on my channel, and we'll be able to do the update with him because he's busy right now. They're getting ready for, like I said, the 2nd year anniversary. So they're going to be doing visuals and trying to get people organized to come together, get together at a certain location, get flyers out, et cetera, et cetera. So I know he's working on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my goodness. This guy is amazing. I don't know the strength that a person like him or Brandy Neal or anybody that does it. Yeah, yes, I get up here and I have a show, I have a live, and we talk about these cases. But I'm talking about, I don't know where the family that jumps on social media, starts their own channel to talk about what happened and to give updates. Delaney too, the legendary. This is John QQ. If one of my mods will please post his link again in the channel in the chat here.
Oh, somebody's asking about me.
Yes, he does. He has an absolutely wonderful channel. He's a lot like me. He will only go live when he has concrete information that, you know, it will happen maybe 2, maybe 3 times a week, sometimes only once a week. But
yeah, sometimes once every 2 weeks, you know, because
right.
I've been busy, you know, putting together content. Also, you know, I've got my life to live and work, and you know, you go to the grocery store, buy food and things of that nature, do laundry, clean house, you know, just the typical things that people do, you know.
Yep. Dylan, he is well worth listening to. If you ever hear me refer to a day zero person, my mods at John Q, Miss Q Carlock, and maybe 1 or 2 other persons that I can't think of off the top of my head right this second, encouraged me to start a channel because I was joining them so often.
Yeah, we trust you, and I'm glad you decided to say, well, you know something, they're right. Let me just check it out. Let me just see what would happen. You know, I probably get maybe 1 person listen to me and stuff like that, but let me see what happened. Look where you are today.
Actually, I only ever counted on Carrie, you,
Miss Q.
1 or 2, Miss Q. I only ever counted on like 3 or 4 people ever hearing me out, and of course, Cosplay, who's not here at the moment. I only ever expected like 3. You have 3 or 4 people here, and last night I crossed 800.
There you go.
You know, again, I thank everybody for that. I really do. You don't know how much in awe I am of my little channel crossing 800 subs.
Yeah, we were just talking just a moment ago with 300. Remember, you did a celebration for 300.
Yes. It was not that long ago.
I know.
Yes.
As long as you keep coming on, and as long as you keep putting in the work, you'll get there. And look at that. I didn't even notice you had 800. My God.
Yeah, I put it very quietly put it in the description. I didn't make it the title tonight. I put it just in the description, a thank you to everybody. But who said what? Yes. Cosplay is and her family are very sports oriented, very sports minded people. So I know she had events to go to tonight. So it's very possible that she is still tied up at that sporting event with one of her kids. So, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, congratulations. Now we're talking about 800. We just talked 300 just yesterday.
Yep. It seems like it was just yesterday. It really does. I went from 300 to 600 in a matter of a week. And then it's and no disrespect to anybody, it's been a grind to get to 800, which is, John, you told me it would be.
Yeah.
You told me once you get above 500, 600 range, it becomes a grind to get to that 800. And then not long after, you go through another spurt. and it has been a grind. And guys, thank you very much for everybody, for those who subbed. But
yeah, definitely. But you've been doing a fantastic job. At least in terms of not only the content that you put out, but you do map work. Somebody in the earlier in the chat said he must have smelt that map work was being done. Yep. I said, yep, I smelt map work. That's why I'm here.
Yep.
So what are we looking at here?
I was just taking a little bit of a general look of Kingsport and Beach Creek, and people were asking questions about why, or what, just some very general questions about location wise, or why things are the way they are, how they affect Ben Hill Road.
Right.
And we were kind of taking a look at, where Ben Hill Road is, and the fact that where the Wells live, and while Rogersville is the county seat for Hawkins County, this area of Beach Creek Road technically is part of Rogersville, but in reality, a lot of times it gets covered by, for like police and things like that, it gets covered by Mount Carmel or Kingsport, or and we're talking about how it was important. Not only important, it was crucial for outside agencies, out of county agencies, to be involved in search for Summer Wells going back on to 2021.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Especially for this highly dense location too, through the hollers.
Oh yeah.
Because when you follow the map, the Beach Creek, that road, it's quite amazing to see the density that's around this particular area.
I'm just going to go and let's see, where is he?
Right back down Ben Hill. No, nobody's at 110 Ben Hill Road. My goodness.
Yeah, nobody's there.
No, my goodness. Yeah, look at this. I mean,
this is just a random. I just dropped him on the little man that you get Street View on just a on Beach Creek Road.
Yeah,
Highway 243, Beach Creek Road.
Not a light out there on Beach Creek. So when it goes dark, it's dark at night. Not a lamp, nothing. So you can imagine driving down this 2-lane highway in opposite directions, one going one way, one going the other, and it's nighttime. If you don't have your high beams on, taking a look at this road, you don't know where the road will bend depending on the speed that you're going. Now, this is what, 45, typically a 45 mile an hour road. And it does accelerate once you get into Sullivan County at 55 and then drops back down to 45. So it regulates between 45 and 55, give or take.
I'm going to defer to Carrie because I don't know if you remember or not, I don't drive. And Carrie and I were last year in this area. So I don't remember what the speed limits are, but if Carrie can agree, we'll say I agree with you or whatnot. I don't remember.
Yeah, because when I covered Beach Creek and followed this road from the church, I think it's I don't know if it's Mount Carmel Baptist Church, where they had the station set up, and the reporter got in his car, went all the way down here. That's how I was able to. I think that was the very first video I showed during the time I was stepping into the case, and saw the various different speed limits on Beach Creek up until you got to Ben Hill, where you made that right turn off of Beach Creek, and then you saw the sign dead end, and then you knew you were going on a more singular road, which is not two-way like this one, but more of a one-way. type situation, like a driveway type of road going up to the house, that would take you back to 110, 125, and all the other residents back there on Ben Hill Road. It's like, wow, how dense that area was. So I'm thinking in my mind, if Summer went missing, how much area would they truly have to cut? I mean, look at the density.
And just so everybody knows, I've moved the map to being Beach Creek Road and Ben Hill Road.
Yeah, that right.
Okay. Which here is, I laugh every single time I hear Don Wells say this. One particular phrase, again, it fits in perfectly with our whole theme of tonight. Even though we were focusing on the past 24, 48, 72 hours, it fits in perfectly. Don Wells keeps saying that his street was blocked off because there was cop cars parked everywhere.
Right. He did say that. It was bottlenecked. Where no one could actually get in or get out, or not unless you were. I mean, and take a look at the street itself. Look how wide this area is. And to say, if there's anybody that's parked, how much shoulder room would you have to actually park, not unless you had to get on the grass?
There isn't area to park.
Right.
Seriously, I've zoomed in from where I put the little man here. I've zoomed in to look up Beach Creek Road here. I'm sorry, Ben Hill Road. There's nowhere to park, folks.
Legally.
Let's forget legally. There's just nowhere to park, because if you park a car on the side of the road, you're in the ditch.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't exist until you get up above or up to where Fred Hill.
Yeah, so, looking at the terrain in the very beginning, to say, how far could she have gotten if she was on foot? What if she did walk off the property? And I went through that scenario. How far could she have gotten? And when you can take a look at the magnitude of how dense this area is, I mean, where would she go?
Right. That's the thing.
Where would she go?
Right.
Now, if you have it in a different scenario where it was a car involved and she was taken off the property. Now
which doesn't make any more sense, to be honest.
Right. Where would you go? Not unless you knew where you were going, and knew how much time you were going to take to get there. So is this a case of familiarity? And I wrote that down. Is someone familiar with this area? I wrote that down. Could that be someone who lives where and how far? And reasons why. Is this a money issue? Is this a debt issue? Is this under the table? I won't say the D word, but is this an under the table issue? An IOU issue? I wrote those things down, and then began to widen my scope. And every time I did, I'd go back to the map, because the map was doing a lot of talking. Limestone Branch did a lot of talking through the holler. How far?
Hang on one second. BB Diamond, that YouTube has recently made some changes. You might want to consider refreshing. Chats don't always work, or if they start to get really sketchy, where you have issues where you are appear that you are timed out on a channel, and you get that grayed out chat or post type of button. But if you refresh it, it tends to correct itself. Sorry about that, John.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, so doing map work And studying this map can tell you a lot about how a 5-year-old would go missing and could go missing if they went missing according to walking off the property or being taken off the property. As Donald said, somebody abducted her. You know?
Yeah.
I've always said, how the hell you know that?
Right.
How would you know that? You're jumping on the news the next day. Yeah, I believe she was abducted. Okay, but by who? Or you must be familiar with maybe someone who would do something like that. And you're afraid to tell because in fear of them doing something if they did abduct her.
Yep.
So don't say anything. Let law enforcement know about it quietly.
Now, remember, folks, the original map that we were showing has Ben Hill Road stopping here.
Yeah, there is a stopping point, right?
But
the limestone branch is almost like if you think that the Ben Hill driveway, the one that we were just taking a look at moments ago, is that skinny. What the hell limestone branch would look like? You know, it would be a skinny ass dirt road that leads you all the way into even further density. Because now, as according to Google Map, you've got tree foliage that leans both left and right over the road itself.
And I apologize for anybody that is confused or maybe confused where I'm at. Limestone Branch is the creek or a creek.
A creek type cut, I think it is.
Yes. I haven't never been this far up on Ben Hill Road. Carrie, I don't know if you have or not, but it looks like to me that this is a dried creek bed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look here, way past the point where Ben Hill Road ends per Google Maps, it continues way up, still going.
Yeah. You see the track lines still running back there.
They're still going.
You see the track lines? You see it? Yeah.
I have my cursor being hot pink for purposes so everybody can point out notice exactly where I'm pointing out here.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ben Hill Road, folks. It's crossing the private property, but here it is. It's here.
It's snaking all through that. Yeah.
Now, it does get to a point where we can't track it because it becomes too dense back here.
Extremely. And you don't know what could you imagine?
Let's just go ahead and give relevance. I put a little marker here.
Yeah. Can't drop the little guy down there, unfortunately, because that would be lovely, you know.
I'm keeping my cursor there on purpose, so it's pulling out from that point.
Right. So we can see the distance.
Look how far up it is from where Ben Hill Road, according to Google, ends, and where 110 Ben Hill Road is.
Yeah. Now you got it. Yep.
This is why I deep dive on the maps. As a local, and I'm not a local like Fred Hill, but I understand, not like he would, but I understand where these areas are going and where are these areas that they do continue to go. Because even though I've not personally been there, I've lived in the Tri-Cities long enough to understand, to know this information. And it's why I tend to get into the map so much. And John, I actually have to blame, if I have to say anybody, I'm going to blame Miss Q Carlock and a channel that no longer exists for connecting us together. and it's been a lot of information that we've been able to give.
Yep, most certainly. and that's what it's one of the main critical things to where, I was able to listen to the discussions that Don was having on various different YouTube channels. And you have to listen to Donald carefully, whether he's dropping a gem here and there, you don't know, but you have to see if it makes sense. You have to see if it fits. Up until the time he did the video piece of Chimney Top Loop. And I said, wait a minute, where the hell is this? Now, I'm from New York. I don't know nothing about this area here. Now, where's this Chimney Top Loop? And how far is it from the house? And then I started putting little pieces of his discussion together to say, well, that's right over here. And it's about 17 minutes this way. Mm-hmm. That's not far. What would be back here? And that's what led me to that Chimney Top Loop area that you and I had discussed and,
oh yeah,
premiered on my channel. In regards to the reasons, what would make him think someone took his daughter in this location rather than all the other locations on the map?
Renegade.
Until we started finding out that there were SOs in the area, because that was the next piece that needed to be put on the map, were the SOs in the area. Why would he think this would be a critical area to be searched? But yet there was no search conducted of the area. And that didn't make any sense to me.
I'm glad Renegade brought up this point. Imagine the four-wheeler trails. Yeah. This is something we have actually focused on and mentioned, that some of these areas you can actually get over the mountain from Ben Hill Road over to Chimney Top Loop. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay. And you can't map it out on Google Maps. The locals that live in these hollers know the path, know the way. And yes, sometimes you have to use four-wheelers or dirt bikes or even a horse to navigate through the trails that are going through the mountain. But you can get there.
Oh, yeah. Just not with your a typical, automobile, or, you would have to have a good terrain vehicle. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Absolutely. And
a four-wheeler, a two-wheeler, but even, like you said, a horse, but a good, tough terrain vehicle. And you would have to know how to navigate that particular area. So you'd have to be familiar with the area in order to get through it.
A good trail horse can do a lot of good going through these areas if they're familiar with the area. Two things. Hello, Aunt B. Thank you very much for coming out. And BB Diamond, please don't feel bad about me stopping and trying to help you out with the tech issue. I just happen to know that the fix to that was the refresh, because YouTube just gets a little squirrely with the new update.
Yeah, YouTube is. Yeah, they've been very sensitive. Very sensitive. Absolutely. But yeah, even going through that holler on a heavy sturdy terrain vehicle, and then finding out the distance between that particular area and how far it is from Horton Highway to Route 81, and how they run parallel to each other. Mm-hmm. You can get a fairly good idea of what that neighborhood is, going in and coming out, where you go in and it's dense as hell. And then when you start to come out of it, now you've got, residential homes that are spaced miles apart until you get to the main road, whether it be Horton Highway or Beach Creek.
Right.
Because that's where the homes start to show up on the main routes. But when the main routes disappear, now you've got homes spread out miles and miles apart, and you don't know where you are, what you're getting yourself into, if you're not familiar with that area.
Yep. And Renegade, I completely understand what you're saying. And yes, there are some four-wheelers, but when I'm talking four-wheeler, meaning like an ATV, one of those little quad type deals where you sit one person vehicles.
Yeah.
They get narrow and small quick back there. They get
Yeah.
narrow and small. You're not going to put a golf cart up in there. You're going to put a Yamaha ATV back up in there. Just give an example of, I think it's Yamaha that's making them now, the really good ones. But you're going to need that type of vehicle to navigate around the terrain and up there and through the inclines and declines. It's a truck wouldn't be able to do some of it.
Yeah. I mean, this whole story and how it started and where it is today is extremely sad. Extremely sad, only because the ripple effect and what it's caused, to the family. And then what it's caused on social media in a lot of different places. The cause and effect element of it, if you will, is mind-blowing. How one little girl, 5 years old, one day went missing, and how it reverberated throughout the whole entire area, to the point to where other children have been taken from the family. And then the separation between Don and Candace, because of his previous deals with law enforcement, puts him away for almost a year. I said, wow, what a way to see a family totally disintegrate.
Marlena can't too. What is based on nothing but lies?
Yeah.
What is based on nothing but lies?
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. See how far we are with the same story, but to see how things are positioned now. They're not even at 10 Ben Hill Road.
Okay. Thank you, Marlena, for clarifying that. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't believe I was giving misinformation about Summer Wells or John Q. Because honestly, I've been following Summer Wells since I'm sitting in Hawkins County currently, since the 911 dispatch call went out. Only the police were following Summer Wells before I started following them, following what happened.
Yes, Marlena, they do contradict each other. They from the start, right from the start.
Thank you for clarifying that, Marlena. I do appreciate that.
No, not you two. Not at all.
Yeah. Nope. I apologize. It had to be asked, though.
Us put out misinformation. Oh, no. Far from it.
There are some people that want to try to make what I say to be anything but. They won't directly say my name, or they won't directly say what I've said, but I will pinpoint to them in my lives that they're going to try to discredit what I'm saying right now, moments, and they do. They don't name me directly, but they do. They try to discredit it.
Yeah, I've had that done too. Also, I hear too that it was asked of, I guess, what is the Cold Case Foundation? They wanted to help Don and Candace in this case, but yet was denied or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's true. That is true.
So my understanding of it,
or should I say, is it true?
Yeah, is it true? It's a question. Is it true?
Is it true? Correct.
Because Cold Case Foundation has to take the position of they don't work for law enforcement, and it goes both ways. Law enforcement can't, because of legalities and court issues and so on and so forth.
Right.
They can't reach out and say, we need your help to Cold Case Foundation. The family has to go and request help.
Right, right.
And then they can, at that point, be an intermediary or advocate for the family and do their work and work with the police at the same time.
Right, right.
It goes back to the whole issue that the Wells believe that Chris McDonough is the Cold Case Foundation.
Oh.
And because of them blaming a lot of things that are happening on Chris McDonough, still, they won't reach out to the Cold Case. They won't reach out and say, please help.
That's stupid.
Even though Brandy Neal, who has been turned into one of the biggest advocates for Cold Case Foundation, helping because of what they have done for Monkey, she's begged the Wells to let them.
Yeah, because if they've got an issue with him, which obviously they made that apparent, there could be something, an arrangement made to where they can exclude him while working with the Cold Case Foundation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, come on. You don't like somebody. Okay, hey, I want you guys to help, but I don't want this person to help. Can we make that arrangement? What prevents a person from making that type of a suggestion, knowing that there may be a conflict of interest?
BB Diamond says it exactly.
Imposed on someone,
BB Diamond says it exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Don would rather hold a grudge.
Yeah. And a grudge is going to prevent him from finding his daughter.
Yeah. Chris McDonough.
That's smart.
I believe what BB Diamond is referring to next is something that he said on the lab directly to Don, that he would go ahead and step aside and not be part of anything that the Cold Case Foundation did on Summer Wells. All he need to do is say, please help.
Wow. Which makes you think, why? Why would you say no? Why would you decline?
It's very simple. Very, very simple. The misinformation, disinformation that the Wells had put out there, they would have to walk back every single detail in order for them to get involved.
Yeah, they would have to, obviously, they would have to tell the story just like it just happened, in
exactly.
order for them
And they're not good.
That information.
Right. They're not willing to reveal the lies they've told. It really is that simple.
That's heartbreaking to hear.
Marlena, yes, exactly. And again, I apologize, Marlena. I wasn't trying to accuse you. I was just simply making sure that we weren't having a miscommunication, that I was giving misinformation. But I did see your apology or your explanation, and I appreciate you doing so. But it really is that simple, that because they won't walk back their lies, that they can't swallow their ego and their pride to find their daughter, which is still, they have issues with saying her name.
Yeah, I like what Miss Justice put up there. You don't really need to know. If you highlight her comment there, you don't need to search for something if you already know where it is.
Right. Yes.
And that's a good comment, Renegade. I wonder if the Wells can remember everything they told the police that very first day.
Well, here's the thing. If you go back in the first few months of Summer Wells, and I was making this point on Monday night, I believe it is. Monday night, when I was on TCCT Dumplings channel, the lab was there and Trev was there as well. I made the point that I just forgot how I worded it. I was making the point that Candace Wells, the reason why they cut off all communication with the police, with the sheriff's department, and things like that, when they did, was because they wanted Candace to come in for a third interview, not a lie detector test, not an interview. And she refused.
Really?
Yes.
You see, it's behavior patterns like that make you scratch your head.
And this is where the whole idea of the behavior panel, when she was on there saying, this isn't helping me. I actually believe that statement is.
She did the same thing on the behavior panel. She literally got up in tears.
I believe, my personal belief is that it was related that she was under the impression and starting to have like a panic attack type of deal, where she was going and not remembering what she originally said, knows she couldn't remember, and that they would probably turn over this information to TBI or Hawkins County before they went public with it.
Yeah, didn't want to get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the deja vu that she was having during the time Chris walked her down to the pond at Warrior State Park. You know, things were happening in slow motion.
Right.
Type stuff, you know. But I just wanted to jump up here real quick and say hello to you. You know, I finally caught you 2 hours into your live, but you know, it's always good to catch you when you're live, and I do have the time. And say hello to the folks that are still here for summers, supporting not only your channel, but still here for summer.
Oh, absolutely. Important, real quick before everybody does, I'm going to be wrapping up very soon anyway.
Yeah.
Please, no matter what I've said, it is my opinion. Okay.
You've always made that clear.
when I said that about what happened with the with TBI and the behavior panel, that's my opinion of what happened, my observation, my belief. I'm not saying it's factual. And Carrie's exactly right. Is all persons and or persons that we talk about, they are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. It is important to remember that. We're not here to judge. We may present an idea about what somebody said or what somebody's action did or what it tells or leads towards. But we always fall back into until proven guilty in the court of law.
Right. You know, my father used to say, you know, what you do speaks so loud, what you say people can't truly understand. And when you look at the do part of what Don and Candace has done thus far, coming now to 2 years next month in 2 weeks, tells you a lot. What the do tells you more than what they said. Tells you a lot. And that's what I've been keeping as best an eye on is, you know, what they're doing, even to this day, what they're talking about, and then what they're doing, what they're talking about, and what they're doing. That's why I asked you, you know, are they going to throw a special event, you know, now coming close to a 2-year mark? That summer's thing, you know, are they talking about that? Are they gearing up to do something? Are they collaborating with any, you know, and not to see them do anything like that and then decline help from the Cold Case Foundation because of Chris McDonough, tells you a lot. Tells you a lot.
I'm not trying to say I'm better than any YouTuber. I'm not. I am a Hawkins County resident first, and I stick to that. You know, but when it comes to what's going on with the YouTubers that are having a celebration or a summer day or whatever they're doing, I have absolutely no interest in participating in what they're doing. This is just me personally.
Yeah.
However, if there is a rumor, but I don't have any concrete information on that Robin Lane or the church may be having something. If they have something, I would probably lean towards attending what Robin Lane had done if it's similar to what she did last year.
Mm-hmm.
While it was for summer, she also included missing kids from around the world at her prayer vigil.
Okay. Okay.
It wasn't singularly focused on summer. It was on all missing kids.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I just hope that as things progress from this point, something different comes out, that moves us closer towards getting some kind of resolution, some kind of remedy to what happened this summer.
There you go. Carrie saying that from what she hears is Robin Lane is doing something, but it's from the church.
From the church. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But RJ, keep up the good work. 800. Wow. You're blowing me away. My God. I better get back online. Oh man, you're passing me.
No. You're far ahead of me. You're far ahead of me. What are you talking about?
Man. But anyway, I always enjoy, connecting with you whenever I can. And it's good to see that you're not only growing, but you're putting out some great content regarding this case. Yeah. And if there's anybody that's been covering the case exclusively like you have, and I wanted to know exactly what any updates, I'd come here first. My first place I'd go to.
I really do appreciate that. And I know you do. And we get into some great conversations. Yeah. For John and I, for anybody that doesn't know, for John and I, we're being 3 hours and 15, almost 20 minutes, we're cutting it short.
Yeah, definitely.
We talked one night for 6 hours straight.
Yeah, 6 hours, and not
about
only maps.
Summer Wells.
We went through maps and photos and video, and I mean, we put it down on the table. Next time we looked up, it's like 5-6 hours later. Is man, we've been in here that long?
Yeah. To us, it just flew by. But and I still appreciate that. Believe it or not, I still get people viewing that and commenting on that live.
Wow.
I still get people viewing that and commenting on that live. It's not like some of my other videos where it's one or two here or there, but it still gets a view every once in a while.
Yeah, it's called a power live. You got to have some power to do that kind of live. Absolutely. But I'm going to let you close out, or let you do your thing and everything. Thank you so much for having me. And,
absolutely.
Much love goes out to the chat, Brother Renegade, Miss Justice, and Baby Diamond, and oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch. Carrie, of course, Cosplay. I know she's not here, but much love goes out to her.
Absolutely.
And all who continue to support. It was just a good thing to see the good thing that was done from the marathon and the right way. Not so much in the amount that should have been the full thing that they had posted when it first came out, but it was just a good thing to see work that was done. What was it? I think it was 2021. Oh my God! October of that month, we did 10 days, and God knows how many hours just to put a good portion of that money together, see it get into the right hands. And that's what was very fulfilling to me.
Absolutely. John, thank you very much for joining us, for joining me. You are welcome anytime.
Absolutely. And likewise, when I go live, I see you there and I said, look, I'm going to drop the link. You're always welcome on my channel. You know that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do appreciate that. I thank you, sir. Greatly.
All right. Take care. Much love and stay blessed with Godspeed.
Absolutely. Have a good night. BB Diamond. So, was I live? Was I on a camera on that particular live? No. That marathon live? No, I was not. The one and only live that I've actually been on a camera was not my live. It was one of the persons that was posting and searching or filming or live, having a live of what Robin Lane had done last year on the June 15th, 2022. The two different creators that were there was confusing me for I can't remember his name off the top of my head. One of the people that were on Ben Hill Road, or the guy that owns the property that nobody's built on. I never wear white. Never wear white. Never wear yellow. Jackie Dobbs. That's it. Thank you very much. Somebody was confusing me for Jackie Dobbs. I never wear white and I never look yellow because it actually makes those two colors make me look sick. Yellow makes me look jaundiced. White makes me just be a ghost. I don't remember what color shirt I was wearing. But yeah, I was confused as being Jackie Dobbs. But ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm actually much younger than I believe Jackie Dobbs is. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for listening tonight and hearing me out and enjoying and taking part in the chat. Like I was discussing with John Q, I try to go live like twice a week, and doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's 3 times. Sometimes it's 9 days later. Miss Kitty, you're fine. I do appreciate you being here. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. As I end my show every single night, when you where I live currently, it's 12:25, almost 12:30 at night. Do you know where your kids are tonight? No matter how old or how young they are, make sure if you have the opportunity to give them an extra hug or an extra kiss, that you do so. Or send them a text message to let them know that you care and you're always there for them. You never know when that's going to make a difference to them. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. My name is RJ. RJ, you've been listening to Conversations Living Room with RJ. RJ. Have a wonderful night, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week till we speak again. Two years. It should not take 2 years. I'm RJ, and I'm out. Have a good night, all.